Hello everyone and welcome back to the series. In today's lecture, we will be studying about the OOPS concept, and this is going to be our last video. Not the last video, and this is going to be the last video of the basic part only. This is it, and we are going to start without wasting any time. Let's go to our computer screen and let's get started. Imagine you are building a real world application and you have students, teachers, cars, bank account and employees, and suddenly your code is full of variables and function everywhere. Now, what are you going to do and how we are going to organize it? So in order to organize it, we have something which is called as object oriented programming or OOPS. This is the place where OOPS comes in the where OOPS comes in and takes the entry. Now talking about what is OOPS. OOPS is a object Now talking about what is OOPS. OOPS is a programming approach where we structure our program around objects rather than just for. Now what is OOP? OOP is a programming approach where the structure of our program around objects rather than just functions and instructions. Think about the real world student, and a student has its property like name, age, roll number, and they can perform actions like study, attend classes, attend hackathon, and do other activities also, and submit an assignment. In programming we can represent that student as an object. Now talking about what is object or class. These are the two important concepts in the OOPS, and what are the object and what are the class. But before we creating the object, we need something called class. Now what is class? Class is actually, you think as a blueprint. Blueprint means, for example, a college may have a student of blueprint that defines the information of every student should have and what they can do. For example, Rahul or Priya are or any other student can be an actual object created from that blueprint. So remember the simple analogy. The simple analogy states that class is equal to blueprint and object is equal to the real thing that the that come from the blueprint, and object is the real thing that come from that blueprint. Now what we are going to learn in this video, we are going to build our own and we are going to build our understanding of the OOPS step by step. We will start with the classes and objects, then we will understand the init function, constructor and the self keyword also. After that, we will move on the four major concepts of the OOPS, which is encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, and abstraction. And do not worry, we are not just going to memorize the definitions. We will just actually learn how they are and how they work and how they create importance for themselves in the Python. And we are going to learn the actual importance of everything in this video. Talking about how we will practice, we will also solve the coding questions along with we will also solve the coding question in between, because understanding OOPS is not enough. You need to practice actually a lot of, and towards the end we will put all the things in the summary of small video, so you can see how the OOPS is actually used and how we are going to build a program using this. So if you are completely new to OOPS, if you are completely new to OOPS, do not worry, we will start from the absolute basic and gradually move towards the advanced concept. So grab your editor and Python and open your Visual Studio Code, and we are going to learn about the OOPS in detail. And without wasting any time, let's move to our computer screen and let's get started. since we have the basic idea what is object oriented programming, so we will start writing some oops code, and the first two terms that you are already absolutely need to understand are the classes and the objects. If these and the first two things and the first two terms that you absolutely need to understand are the classes and the object. If these two concepts become clearer, the rest of the oops becomes much more easier. So let's start from the beginning. I will create a new file here. Okay, let's just open my previous file, which is my.py, and I am going to show you there only. I will just open it and remove all this code. Simply press Ctrl A and then backspace to remove this. You know this, I know you are smarter than me. So first come with the what is class. A class is basically a blueprint or a template for creating objects. Like think about the building. Before constructing 100 apartments, you might have one blueprint that defines the things like the number of rooms, number of doors, numbers of windows you are going to have in your house. So the blueprint is itself is not a actual apartment. Similarly, a class defines what an object should have. A class defines an object, what should it contain and what should be able to do. Like for a house, we define it should be that much convenient that we are able to live in it. And let's take an simple example of a student. And in the let's create a class. I will create a class as class student, and I will write here I have created one class and I am going to pass it. We have studied about the pass statement. If I have created it, means it is going to work. But I will write the pass statement here, means pass statement is going to give pass this code no matter if it is wrong or right. And we are going to pass it means we are not executing it right now, but we have created it. So it is not going to give any error. Now here we have created the class called student, and this is how the class is created. The class keyword tells the Python that we were creating the class, and the student is the name of our class. For now we are using the pass because we haven't added anything inside the class yet. So this is our blueprint. Now I hope you get what is the blueprint actually. Now just having a blueprint isn't if now just having the blueprint is not enough. We need to create an actual student from this blueprint, and that's where the objects comes in. I will create here a student named student1, and which is equal to student. I have to write here student1 which is equal to student and bracket. Since this is a class, so student1 is an object and of the class student. Here we have created the class student, so it is the object. Student1 is the object of student. And what we, but here we have but here we were not actually creating an object from our class. Then we have, let's say, student 2 which is also equal to the student. I will create it equal to the student. So next now we have two different objects. Both the objects belong to the same class but they have two separate objects. Both the objects belong to the same class but they are two separate objects. Like here you can see that Think of the class as the mold and the objects as the individual thing created using the mold. Now, next we have adding the attributes in the student. Like we have created the class here student, and I'm going to attribute. But right now our student does not have any actual information containing in it. So in order to add some attributes, what are the attributes? That attributes are actually the information that contains the information of the class. A real student has a name, age, roll number, and maybe a course also. So these characteristics are called as attributes. Now let's say I will have this student one, and I will write here, I will remove this student 2 here, and I will write student 1. And what I'm going to write here, I will write student 1 dot name. And what is the name? Let's say my name is Just, so I will write here Just. And moving to the next, we have student 1 age also, so I will write here student 1 dot age. And what is the age here? So my age is, let's say, 20, and I want to print both the student name and the student age. So what I will do here, I will write print, and in the bracket what I want to print, I want to print here student 1 dot name, and I will write here student 1 dot name. I have created this name, so I am going to print this only, student 1 dot name. And next we have is to print student 1 dot age. I will write here student 1 dot age, and I am going to run this, see what's happening. A file, run without debugging, Python debugger, and you can see student. I have created student in the capital, so I have to write in capital letters here also. So I will again run this code and see what's happening. See, both the name and the age of the student is printed here. Now here we have added two attributes to our object, which is name and age. We can access this using the dot operator, like here we have accessed like student 1 dot name and student 1 dot age. Then create another, and I similarly I want to create another student, so I will write here student 2. Similarly for the student 2, I want to create student 2 dot name, student 2 dot age, and let's say my student 2 has the name as Rohan, and I have written Rohan here. And now I want to print it also, so student 2 dot age, and I am going to run this also. You see, this is also printed. Notice how student 1 and student 2 can have different values even though they were created from the same class. You can see that we have used the same class student and student for student 1 and student 2 both. But there is a problem with our approach. Every time we create an object, we were manually assigning new attribute. Imagine we have 100 students writing student 1 dot name, student 2 1 dot age, and student 2 dot name, student 2 dot age, and so on. Wouldn't it get so messy? So Python gives us a very special method called init. What I'm going to write here, see, now this time I'm not going to pass it. I will write here def and in underscore init. This is my initialization. and underscore underscore bracket closed. And what I'm going to write in the black bracket here is self comma name comma age. Since I am defining only name and age here, so I have written only two parameters. If you want more, you can write or more also. So I will write here self dot name. I want to create self dot name is equal to name, and self dot age is equal to, in the next line I have to write this, sorry for the mistake, and self dot age is equal to age. Now this init function, this init method is called automatically whenever an whenever an object is created. Now this init method is called automatically whenever we create an object. Then if we want to print this, now we don't have to write this again and again. What I will do here, I will comment this first, and I can write it in this way. Now I have created since the class and the object. So I will write here student1. I want the student1 to be printed, and here's the class name, which is student in capital S. And now this student1 is going to be the object of the class created, and we are going to pass the variables here. Let's say just as my name and age as 20. Similarly for the student 2 also, I will write here student 2 and student which is equal to name, let's say Rohan, and age as 20. And now we don't have to manually assign the values. We will write the student Rahul 20, Rohan 20, just 20, whatever you want to write. Python sends these values to the constructor. We have written that self dot name is equal to name, which means we have written here, no, self dot name is equal to name. So the on the left side, self dot name means the attribute belonging to the particular object, whereas on the right side, self dot whereas on the right side, name is the value that we receive from an argument as an argument. Now you will ask me the question that what is self and why we are using the self. Coming to your questions, and now what is self actually? Verify simply self refers to the, you can see simply self refers to the current object. Here, when we create the student 1, self refers to the student 1. When we created the self student 2, self when we created the student 2, self refers to the student 2. That's why both the objects can have their own separate values. Means I can show it like this if I want to show you that. In this manner it is created. I will show you a pathway like student 1, and it goes to self, and what is self going to do? Then it is going to send it again to the student 1. Similarly here for the student 2 also, I am just going to copy paste it, and you can see here student 2 and then self and then again student 2. Then if we print student 1 dot name, so if you want to print the student 1 dot name, so remember this simple self represent the current object we have given to. I have made this arrow diagram in order to explain you only. This is no sense of writing here. Okay, fine. I will just comment it out. Now So far we have talked about the data that an object contains, but objects do not have their data. They can also perform the actions. These actions are represented using the methods. What are methods? I will write here, like I have created this class here student, and now I want to define their method. So what I'm going to write here, I will write here another def function which is def, let's say introduce, and I want to introduce self. Self is for all, means including everyone. So I will write here, so if I write here print, and in the bracket my name is bracket closed, and I want to include the name, so I will write here self dot name, and I want to print after that my age is this, so I will write here print, and in the bracket my age is self.age. I will write here self.age. Now I want to introduce all the students here. So I am going to write this function again and again. Basically not. What I am going to do here, I have given the student 1 also, I have given the student 2 also. So what I am going to do, I will I will just simply call it, I will just simply write it here, that I want to print what I want to print this for Rahul. So I will write here student 1, and I want the introduction for Rahul. Rohan, sorry for the name misconvenience. Sorry for the mispronunciation. And I want to introduce Rahul, so I will write here student 2 is actually Rohan, so I will write here student 2 dot, and I want to introduce him, and I have created the introduce function, so I will write here introduce and bracket closed. Going to run this and see what it is going to have. See here student, actually here also we have to write the same name we have write in the init function. So in order to made in order to appear, so that it is visible here in this introduce function also. So I will write here name and age also, name comma age, and now I am going to run this and see if it is working and fine. So in order to define this, what I have to do, I have to make this introduce function define inside the class. So I will write here inside the class by pressing the tab space here, and see now I'm going to run this and run without debugging. Now I hope we are getting our output. We have written here by mistake name, and I am going to write it again, and I am going to run this again and see what's it is going to give me. So basically this is a good thing happen here. We have to define the function. If we are, want to call this, we have to define it within the class. Outside the class is not going to be work, and this gives us a beautiful lesson. So with this, what we have learned, We have learned about that class is a blueprint and object is actual the instance created from that blueprint. Attributes are the data or the property of an object. Talking about the methods are the action that an object can perform. And talking about underscore initialize the object when it is created, and self is refers to the current object. In the next section, we will be going deeper about the constructor methods and how Python handles object behind the scenes. So, what do you think? What will happen if I want to change Rohan's age from 20 to 21? So, without wasting any time, let's move to this part of the video and we will learn it how we can change it. So far we have learned about how we will create the class, create the object, analyze them, init function, and create instance method. But now let's move into some deeper portion of this. Suppose I have 100 students and some information is different from every student, while some information is common to every student. For example, every student has a different name and age, but all students belong to the same college. So, should we store the college name separately inside every object? That's exactly where we are going to understand now. Talking about the classes instant Talking about the class instant attributes versus class attributes. In this video, we will be studying about instance attribute and class attribute. What it says at attribute, what it says that I will just simply write here, I will write here, I will define a class named student, and this time also, this time I am going to have the student and in small letters, all the student in small letters. And I want to create a college. Let's say college name is, let's say, XYZ, or any other college if you want. You can write here XYZ University. Next, if I want to init a function, init def inside it, so I will write here def and underscore init underscore, and here in the bracket I will initialize self name and age. After that, I will put a semicolon, and here I will write self dot name is equal to name, since we have given the name as self dot name is equal to name, and self dot age is equal to age. Next line I have to write this, so enter. Next, here we have two types of attributes, name and age. Name and age are the instance attribute, because every student can have the different value. If the different value are there, so we are going to categorize it as the instance value. But for all the students, we are going to take in this all have the same college, XYZ college. So XYZ or XYZ, whatever you want to pronounce it, you can. So I am want to pronounce it like this, so I will pronounce it like this only. And moving back, we have XYZ college, and this is the class attribute, because all the students have the same college here called the class attributes, and it is common to all the students. Now next, what I am going to do, I will create the objects here. Let's say I want to create the object as S1, creating the object here. In the next line, I will create s1 dot s1 is equal to student, and student, what I want to write here, I will write the name here. I have to define the name, so I will write here just, and his age I have given the another parameter as age, so let's say his age is 18, 19. And moving to the next parameter, we have s2, which is s2 is equal to student, and I want to define here student, and the name of student is, let's say, Ria, and her age is, let's say, 16. So what I am going to have, I want, if I want to print the name of the student one, so what I will write here, I will write print, and in the bracket I will write s1 dot name, and run this. See, I am going to have just as my output, working fine or not. Yes, I am getting just as my output. Now if I want to print the age of s2, so what I will write here, I will write here print, and in the bracket I will write s2 dot age. So I will run this and see if it is working fine or not. And see here, I am getting age as 16. Yes, I am getting the age of Ria. What is happening here, we have taken the student class, and student class has the one common property that all the student belongs to the college XYZ University. Okay, and after that we have taken the def function, in which we have taken the different name and age of the students, and in this way we are working. Now if I want to print the college of both the students, so I will write here print s1 dot college, and see, I will run this. See, I am getting XYZ University as my output. What I am doing here is very important. I do not write the university name again and again for all the students, for both the students. So this is going to reduce our workload, and also going to create more space in the code, and work is a very good practice if you are writing this. Notice that what the objects now see the updated college name, because they are getting this value from the class. We can see there that it is getting from the class. If you want, I will also print the college name for s2. I will write here print, and in the packet s2 dot college, and I will run this. See, run without debugging, and see here I'm getting the university as XYZ for both the students. I do not redefine it again and again. I have just given it for the all the students I am going to write here. Now something interesting happened. S1 has its own college attribute, so Python uses that value for S1, but S2 still get the value from the class. This is an important concept when working with the class and the instance attribute. Now if I want to add more instances in this, so what I'm going to do here, let's say I want to add the marks here also, so I will write in marks also here in the def init function, and I will write here marks. So what I'm going to have, I will write here self dot marks is equal to marks, and I have defined one more parameter, one more instance here, which is the marks. And talking to the next, we have, I want also to print the marks, so I will write here I will create one more function, let's say display, which is going to display the marks along with name and age. I will write def, then display function, display, and self. We are going to write the self here. Print what I want to print here. I want to print the name, uh, and the name is, which is the name, self dot name. I will write here self dot name, and after that similarly I will write here for the age and for the marks also. I will just update this portion, name, age, and I will write here self dot age, and in the last I will have the marks, so I will write here marks, and here self dot marks. I hope that makes sense. And in a, if I want to print here, I will just pass the marks here also, including one more variable. Let's say just has secured 89 marks, whereas Ria has secured 95 marks. Very good, Ria, well done. Ria has secured 95 marks, and now I want to print and display the marks. So what I am going to do here, I will just simply pass the display function, and what is going to print, it is going to print me the name, age, and marks of whatever the student I am writing. Let's say I want to print for year. I will write here s2 dot display, and what, and the same braces, closed braces. So I am going to just run this and see if it is working fine or not. See here, I'm getting the marks, name, and age of Ria. I'm getting all the entries I have written for Ria. If I want to add one more function, whether the student I have assigned the marks is pass or not, I can create one more function, and I will just simply call that function, and not need to check my criteria for passing and all. I will just simply pass that function and see whether the student is pass or not. I will create a function named def is pass. So I will write here is underscore pass. So I will write here is underscore pass, and in the bracket self, it is created. Now if my name, let's say self dot name, self dot marks, sorry, self dot marks are less than 40, less than equal to 40. Let's say my pricing criteria is 40, so I will write here less than equal to 40. Then the should print fail, otherwise I want to print pass. So I will write here else, and print in the bracket double quotation pass, and I want to see whether the just is pass or not. So what I will write here, I will write here s1 dot is pass, is underscore pass, which is the name of my thing which I have created, and I will just run this and see whether the student is pass or not. See here, I am getting the result pass. That means that the student one, that means that the student one which I have run for the loop is pass. And notice that the method does not need us to marks. Notice that the method does not need us to pass marks separately. If we have access to the current object marks through, we can use the self dot marks. We can do it usually using the self dot marks. Next we have, so far we have learned our method and worked with the individual objects, but sometimes we want a method that works with the class itself rather than a particular object. For that, a class method, Pro- Python provides us with the class method. What is the class method? I will say like here, work with the instance method. An instant method works with a particular object, but sometimes we need to create a method that works with the class itself rather than with a specific object. That's where the class method comes in. Talking about the class student1, let's say I have created this class as student and its college is XYZ University, and here I have created a init function which is for all, and here I have given the variables as name and age. Now what I want in the class variable, I will remove the marks from here as of now, and remove this pass function also. Is pass or not, I do not need it as of now. You also need to remove the unnecessary people from your life, and it is going to make it easier. Talking about and without wasting any time, talking about the class function, class method, I will write here def change college, change underscore college, and if the college is changed, I want here class comma new college, COLLEGE, new college. And here I will write here, in this I will write here class dot college. What I want to assign here, the value is new college, new underscore college. So here we have, we I have to write here at the rate class method before initializing it and writing the def function. And this is the way of writing the class method. No space, no underscore, nothing else. This is the method. See, it's turned green also, greenish something type color. And here we are using at the rate class method decorator. Instead of the self, a class method receives the class. Self refers to the current object where class refers to the current class. So here if I will print here s print s, I want to do what here, I want to print the class college. So I will write here, I want to change the college. So what I will write here, student dot, which is the name of the first class I have created, and I want to change the college. So I will write here change underscore college, which is equal to, let's say my new college name is ABC University, and ABC University, what I will write here, now I want to print the college, and I will write here print s1 dot college. See what I am having in my college. This time I'm not going to have the ABC University. This time I will this time I'm not going to have the XYZ University which is given earlier. This time I'm having the ABC University. I will show you here. I am going to run without debugging, and see expected colon. Oh, we forgot the colon here. and again running this code. Yes, we get our answer at our university as XYZ University, not the ABC University. We have changed this. Notice that we have used the method using the class itself, and the college is the class attribute. Changing it through the method to the class affects the value available to all the objects. Next we have is the static. Next we have the concepts which is called the inheritance, which is considered as the most important concept of OOPS, which is inheritance. Into the super important and useful topic, which is the inheritance in Python. Imagine we have already a class named animal, and I want to create a dog. A dog is an animal, so instead of writing the common functionality, we can make and inherit the dog from the animal. Like you inherit the properties from your parents, your grandparents, and your siblings as well. So in this way, we can inherit using the inherit class. What I am going to do here, I will just remove all of this to make the another type of code for you, so making the class more easy and understandable to you. I will create a class named class, and the class name is animal. So what I'm going to write here, I will create a instance here. Let's say not the instance, I will create the functionality of that class, which is the using the def function. I will write here def speak. Every animal speaks, so it is the quality of this animal. What I'm going to do here in the def speak, I will write here self and then semicolon. What I want here to print whenever calling this class animal, I I want you to print animal makes a sound. Animal animal makes a sound. I am extremely sorry for the noises that are coming from my background, but I can't do anything. Actually, in India we are having a festival named Mahashivratri, in which the Mahadev Bhakts go to the Ganga river and bring the water back to the nearest shivling of their house and pour them on the shivling. So these are coming and all the pathway are blocked and so much rush that it's even 12:35 in the night, and I am recording the video so that I can have the less sound, but in the daytime also there is too much noise that I can't even record properly. But no worries, our focus is high, our quality is high, and our determination is also high. So let's avoid this and completely avoid this. We will try to do something for this. We will buy the new mic or something else, or I will try the noise cancellation here if worked. So please forgive me if you are watching and seeing that too much noise here. I hope you will forgive me. Moving forward and back to our classes and what we were saying. Now I want the class dog to be created. I want the class dog to be created. So I will create a class which is the dog, and I want to inherit the properties of animals. Since dog is also animal, so it is also going to bark. So I will write here animal, and I want to pass it as of now. So I will write the pass function. I have created the dog name I have created the class named dog, and what I'm going to do here, I will write dog, which is equal to dog, which is equal to dog, and bracket close. Where here the dog is the name of the my class, and I want that dog speaks. I want that to be printed. Animals make a sound. So I will write here dog dot speak and run this. Speak, speak. Okay, sorry. And run this. See here, I am going to have all the elements make the sound. We have just called what we have do here. I will also explain it to you. Working, yes, I'm going to have Bruma as my output. And now next we have the method overriding. What is the method overriding? The parent class has already a speak, but the child class provide its own implementation. Means you have the inherit the properties from your parents, but your mother eyes is brown color and your father eyes is black color, and somehow you have the eyes of gray color. So you override their property, you just drop their properties and take your new on properties. This is called as method overriding, and I am going to show you here also how we can do the method overriding. I will write here class animal, and in the class animal what I'm going to have is def speak tab def speak, and in this I want to write what the speak want to print that print animal makes a sound. So I have written here animals make a sound, and next we have is class dog, and I will create another class named dog. What I will write here in the bracket, I will write animal semicolon, and what I want here def speak. I want here to override the property, so I will give its own property as dog barks. So it is going to have the property as dog barks, dog barks, and I will create another thing which is dog is equal to dog capital in the capital, since I have given the class name in capital and I am assigning it to the class. And I will write here dog dot speak and see what is happening here and what I'm getting in my output. I will just run without debugging, and see I am getting dog barks. I do not get here animals make a sound, since this is override, and this method is called as method overriding. Moving to the polymorphism. What is polymorphism? And this brings us to the major oops concept. Polymorphism. Polymorphism means that the same interface or method name can have different behavior depending on the object. Like here, if I have created the dog, I will write here barks, but in the, if I will create another, let's say named cat, I will write there meow. So this is the voice of the cat, and I will write here class. Since every interface has their own method, own name can or different behavior, so this is called as polymorphism. And I will create here another class named cat, and what I want here, I want to create def function here which is def speak, And in the def speak what I want to print meow. On printing meow, if I will create a list named animals and I here create the variables in my inputs as dog and cat, and see here what I will write dog bracket to include all the class here, and then cat is also in the capital, so cat bracket. And what I want here now, I want to print for animals and animal in animals, I want to print the sound, so I will write here for animals in animal in, I will write here any variable name, and I will write here the list name I have created animals, and I want their language to be written animal dot speak, and see what I'm going to have in my output. See here, I have not written the self here, I will write the self here also, and going to run it one more time and see what I'm having. See, I'm having their sounds as dog barks and cat meow, and in this way I can do, in this way we are getting the different values for the same speak method, but the result depends on which value we are working with. This is called as polymorphism. Next we have is, next topic we have is encapsulation. Encapsulation means keeping the data and the methods which work together and controlling the data, controlling how the data is accessed. Means we can just give the necessary data, like if I am working with different teams, like I'm working with students and teachers, and I want to give the different data to the teachers and different data to the students, so I'm going to use the encapsulation method. Similarly happens in the bank also, and I'm going to show it with the help of the example. Let's say I will create a class named bank account, and I don't want bank account, and here I want to init a thing which is class blank account, and here I want to init, I will write def and underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and in the bracket I will write self comma balance. See here what I'm going to do, I will write self dot balance, which is equal to the balance. And now what I want here, I want to create another def variable, def function, which is def get balance, and which is equal to the, in the bracket I will write self, I will remove this extra space from here, and what I'm going to have, I will return the value as self, return self dot underscore underscore balance. What is this? And I'm going to show it also to you. Let's create a variable name account, and what I'm going to store here, I will store the values of the bank account. Control C, Control V, and let's say I want to enter amount as 5,000, and I want to print the bank account, bank balance, whatever I want to print. I will print it using the print account and then dot get balance. So in this way we can get the balance we are having in our account. I will just simply run this and explain you also. Self underscore underscore balance, run this. Let's say balance and run this. See here, I'm getting my account balance as 5,000. What is happening here? In, Instead of directly accessing the balance, we can provide a method to control it. Like, we always not want to show all the details to every user, every customer. Like, we have the we want different updates to show to the customer, to the manager, to the people working there. So this is the be- better way of using the encapsulation, means keeping the data and the methods that work with the data together while controlling the data how it is accessed. Now talking about the abstraction, this is the major concept and the final concept also. Abstraction means hiding unnecessary implementation details from exposing only what is necessary. I want to expose only the things which is necessary. So what I'm going to do, I will write here, I will take another example from here. I will write from ABC, import ABC, ABC, and I want here abstract method, ABSTRACT, abstract method. So I will write here in this way, and now I want to create, now I want to create a class named vehicle. I will create a class vehicle, and I will write here A B C, and then what I'm going to have is I will abstract the method using the at the rate ABSTRACT abstract method, and I will write here def method def, and I want to start. In order to start, I will use the self, and I want to pass this. See, just see if you are not getting. I will explain you also what I am doing here. Then I will create another class which is class, and I want the car here, and in this I want vehicle. All the properties are going to be there in the vehicle. We have already studied about it. Def start, and then self break, so colon, and then print class car starts. In this double quotation I will write here car starts. See here, if I will write here, see here, if I will write here car is equal to car, which is the car my class name, and I also write here car dot start, it is going to return me. See what it is going to return me. See, chart is not defined. Give us the word. The vehicle class defines what a vehicle should provide a start method, but it doesn't define exactly how every vehicle starts. The child class provides the actual implementation. Moving to the next, we have studied a lot today in the object oriented programming. We have studied about the class, object, constructor, self, instance or attributes, class attributes, instance method, class method, static method, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction. So we have covered the major topics. If you need any understand, so we have covered the major topics. You need to understand object oriented programming in Python. We have started with the classes and object and learned how the constructor initialize the object and how self allow us to work with the individual object. We looked at the instance, class and static method, and finally we have covered the four major pillars of the OOPS, which is encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism and abstraction. Before we finish, let's put several. With this we come to the end of this video and it's time now 1:17, and I will like you if you will tell me that you are understanding it or not, and I can make it, I will do it in more depth. I can make it in more depth if you want to. So with this we come to the end of this video. If you did, with this we have finally come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed watching this video, I would like your opinions about this video, and we will meet soon in the next video. Till then, keep learning, keep watching. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.